We should get a nice move here to the upside, and that's what I'm looking out for right now. Played out quite nice. Any rejection will be really bearish. Bitcoin is setting up finally for a massive bounce back to the upside, and this comes from one big chart scheme that I'm going to show you in this video. So definitely don't miss out on this episode, and let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here. Sorry, my dog's a little bit jumpy because he wants to go out. So after this video, I'm gonna take him. Let's talk quick about the DXY. It's rallying back to the upside since we came here into this underlying support area that we were talking about a couple days ago. And we also said what we don't really want to see is that this is really acting as a big support zone and that the DXY starts moving out of here back to the upside. But this is unfortunately exactly what we are seeing, and that is also then putting the brakes on Bitcoin and the market overall to rally here back into higher prices. So now we have to see how the DXY is reacting when we get to the 102 point level, and if we can get a rejection from there back to the downside, because that would be bullish for us. But if we are starting to break this, then expect that Bitcoin might be either going sideways or coming a little bit lower again. But the good news is I don't believe that we are revisiting the lows that we have already put in. I don't see that happening, because for this geopolitically and economically something crazy has to happen. That's so that the dollar technically makes a massive spike here back into this area over here to put Bitcoin back under $50,000. So, and I'm not seeing anything right now happening that would point to that fact. Now, when we're looking into Bitcoin, I don't want to waste a lot of time here. So we jump directly into the pattern that is actually telling us that we should get a nice move here to the upside. And that is the Wyckoff accumulation pattern here on the 1 hourly chart. So you see here on this schematic, this move to the downside is basically here, this move to the downside. And then a little bit distorted, I have to admit, the rest of the price action here. But overall, you see it is resembling a lot of Wyckoff accumulation pattern. So we can argue that down here we have put in the spring, and now we should be overall rallying back to the upside over the next couple of days. I don't expect this to be happening in the next couple of hours here based on the 1 hourly chart. But overall, we should in the next coming days see a nice move to the upside. And here's something that I want you to take with a grain of salt, because I know I get ridiculed in the comments again. We had a new moon that finished today, which means that today markets should go up again. So why have the moon phases any effect on the markets? Really easy. Tides coming and going. And depending on how the moon is positioned, the tide is coming or going, and of course the tide is higher or lower. So right now the tide is coming back. So it means water goes up with the new moon, and that usually also means markets are rising. I know it sounds stupid, but if you look back how accurate it is, there is some truth to it. So, but take it with a pinch of salt, guys, you know. So I just wanted to mention it. Don't be surprised if today, tomorrow, we're gonna get here a nice jump in Bitcoin, and then you did not find any technical reason for it, and don't tell me then, oh, it was because the new moon, you know. So you heard it here first. But again, take it with a grain of salt. When it comes to technicals on the higher time frames, like the 12-hourly chart, then of course we have a lot of alignment for continuation to the upside. We have the MACD in 17 minutes here, potentially printing already a buy signal. The RSI is going sideways because we're under resistance, but the stochastic RSI is also going to the upside. So if we would close this current 12-hourly candle as it is, it might be not completely bearish to close it the way it is if we are putting in a green candle afterwards, which would mean these 3 candles together put in a continuation pattern to the upside and reclaiming also here this VPVR level of $59,600. $59,800, which will open the doors to go above $60,000 here once again. Don't forget that the point of control is sitting here at $60,900 with the longest historical traded volume area here, which will give us resistance when we are trying to move here back to the upside, and also the EMA ribbon will give us resistance on the way to the upside, and we see this already with that wick here in the current candle back to the downside and getting rejected from there. On the daily chart, we left the green support area, which was important, but now we are squeezed between the green one and the above sitting resistance zone, which is kind of coinciding with the EMA ribbon on the 12-hourly chart. So here, for continuation, we need to break through this. Again, $60,800 is the level to watch here on the higher time frames to get through this, to get continuation to the top of the downward sloping resistance of that downward sloping parallel channel that we are trading in. What we don't want to see is that we get rejected from here, come back into the support area, get further rejection to the downside. But most of the things are not pointing to that right now, so I'm not too concerned about that kind of outcome. When we're going then to the 12-hourly chart over here, then you see that we had a beautiful retest of the underlying support here at $57,400, and now fighting with the VPVR at $59,500 from the IMDX algo indicator. Once we break through this, the downward sloping trend line here becomes our next target. Would I enter here a trade right now? No, not unless we are breaking above $59,500. Then you could open a scalp trade into $61,400. That would be the next logical target, and I would take some profits here because we have seen in the past that that level has some significance as support or as resistance, and currently it is a resistance level. When we're going then here to the 1-hourly chart with our falling wedge pattern and the trade that I had given you guys yesterday, you see that this trade actually played out quite nice so far. We are not that much up. I would guess roughly 1%. Yeah, a little bit more, yeah, just over 1%. But again, I told you guys that this is a scalp trade. So if you would be trading this here with scalping leverage, that means like 20 to 50x, you would be up 20%, 50%, depending on what kind of leverage you're using. So here, if you're in this trade right now with high leverage, put your stop loss to your entry level, because the worst case is that you then only lose the trading fees, but nothing substantial from your capital if we come back and revisit the entry level. So make sure that you either start paying yourself already a little bit, and set your stop loss, or at least set the stop loss to your entry level, because once we are breaking here this downward sloping trend line to the upside, which is kind of a bull flag. I know the lines are a little bit too long because I'm a little bit lazy right now, so but this cannot be much longer. So we need to get a breakout here in the next 2 hours, otherwise it will be invalidated. But the target would be $60,440, really close to our overall take profit point here of this downward sloping resistance line. Like I said, be careful and set your stop loss to your entry level to just avoid any losses here, because we can always re-enter. There's no problem with that. Then on the liquidation levels, here we still have a lot of build up of high leveraged short positions above us that needs to be taken out. Can we get a quick flush here to $57,300? Not really. I don't see it happening, because we are in the mid-range of the EMA ribbon, and as long as we are holding this and moving slowly higher, the chances are increasing that we are actually going for a squeeze here to $62,000 in the short term, and also cancel this death cross that we just put in here. So best case scenario is price moves over the next 48 hours here to the upside, gets above $61,000. Here the 50 moving average turns immediately around. We are putting in immediately another buy signal and a golden cross here tomorrow, and continue the upwards trajectory. So, but for this we need price to come a little bit higher, and that's what I'm looking out for right now. Any rejection from the 200 moving average here over the next 48 hours will be really, really bearish, and I might be looking for a short from here back into the mid $55,000 range. But like I said, right now it's not looking like that. Then on the liquidation heat map, also here you clearly see on the 3 months chart that most of the liquidity is just above us. It doesn't make sense to drive prices much lower for a market maker, because all the liquidity is above us. So where does the market maker go? He goes where liquidity is, and that is to the upside. But let's wait and see situation with the upcoming rate cuts, and also some employment numbers in the US, I think, again this month. And that's why people are still waiting. People at the trading, as they're just coming back out of holidays. I know that people up to the 8th actually are on holidays, which is again the weekend, so they're not working until next Monday, which is the 9th. So expect a lot of volatility early next week, and this week might be still a little bit boring. So don't be surprised by that if it actually turns out to be just a little bit boring over the next couple of days. So then when we go here to the 4-hourly chart with the MDX gradient, here we also see the imminent resistance at $59,500. Once that is broken, we should get a nice squeeze here to the upside into the $60,000 level, because here is still, even if it's small, here is still something left from the imbalance in this candle here. It's really, really small, but it's still there. What is this? Like a $300 imbalance is still in this candle here. $300 is enough to get taken out here with a move to the upside. But like I said, we need a $500 move to get above this. But here you see the super trend indicator on MDX has already flipped green, and that will act as support now over the next couple hours and coming days. If we would get any flush here again to the downside. So worst case would be $58,300. As long as we are holding this, we should also get continuation to the upside. And guys, again, if you don't have any money right now and you want to stand a chance to win $500 here twice a week, I'm gonna pull a winner tomorrow for this week, the first $500. Go and sign up on ZoomX and deposit $100. If you do that, I'm gonna put you with my team on the list where we check the accounts that actually deposited $100, and then we're gonna draw 2 winners per week to win $500 that you can trade with and make here a lot of money. So you don't need to use your $100 that you deposit. Just use them to be qualified for the $500 draw. And once we have drawn you, you can withdraw your $100 again, you know. So, but until then, they have to stay there. We are checking this, you know. So use the link in the description below for that. And they have also a $45,000 deposit bonus if you deposit enough money on this platform. So then altcoins, here the total free market cap is getting a nice reclaim of that green box here, which we also desperately need for continuation. So if we can close today's candle as it is, this would be absolutely enough for me, because tomorrow we would put in another green candle to the upside, most likely going up like $15 billion or something like this to $476 billion. Yeah, just getting continuation here. Even if it's slow, it's better than no continuation at all, because what we want to see here on the next move to the upside is that we break this downward sloping trend line and finally get a proper rally in most of the altcoins. And when we're looking at the RSI Heatmap over the last 24 hours, then you see that most of the altcoins, they're either still here in the green buy area, or they are in neutral, in a neutral area on the RSI. So it is technically a good moment to load up on altcoins before they're jumping here back up into the overbought area. So I'm loading up, or I did already load up quite a lot here. I'm still loading up when I see something interesting and juicy price-wise. And you should do the same, you know, so because this will not stay forever like this, especially with Q4 coming up. And remember, Q4 is the most profitable quarter historically out of all quarters. So you want to load up as much as you can while the prices are low and knowing what's coming in Q4. And again, guys, if you don't have any money available to trade, then deposit $100 on a Bybit. On Bybit, it's guaranteed that you're going to get an airdrop position for all these coins here that are listed. Only for these coins you're going to get it. You only need to deposit $100. You can claim your free airdrop position, and then you can trade all these coins that are listed here with these $500. And remember, guys, take advantage as long as the exchanges are throwing around with money, because they did not do this in a bear market. So take advantage while they're doing it and throwing around with free money and free airdrop positions that you can turn into a couple $1,000s even on low leverage. I give you an example. If you would put in now a $500 position with 10x leverage on Ethereum, and Ethereum goes up 10%, which is not a lot, you know, so that would bring us to $2,700 approximately. Okay, almost, yeah, $2,770, which is not crazy. So then you would have made already $500 on your trade. Now you have $500 that you can actually withdraw. So, and now imagine if you trade this to $3,000, then you made already $1,000, and that on 10x, do you really think we go back to $2,200 right now and you would lose this $500 that you get for free? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So putting in a 10x leverage trade with the $500 that you get for free from Bybit, it makes a lot of sense here, you know, so because you can over the next, let it be 2 months, easily make here $1,000 that you got absolutely for free. Because the $100 that you put on Bybit, you don't need to use them. So use the link in the description below for that, because also this is running out, I think in 2 weeks, almost, in 15 days. So you have 15 days to claim your position, and I don't know when Bybit is doing it again. So take advantage of this. Now talking about Ethereum, here nothing really happening right now. Only the indicators are getting in position for a nice move here to the upside, but I think Ethereum is also waiting for Bitcoin making a move here, plus that we still have Grayscale selling a lot. But once we are breaking this downward sloping trend line, you're gonna see a nice pump here to the upside, most likely straight going in direction of $3,000 in my opinion for Ethereum. Now for Solana, here, remember guys, I told you that when we break this downward sloping trend line on Solana, you can enter this. I still stand to that. Right now would be also still a good moment to enter, to trade this to at least $157. So that is almost a 20% move, if I'm not mistaken. Almost 17% move to the upside. On the 4-hourly time frame, of course, it looks like that we are a little bit exhausted and need to push a little bit sideways. But when I go to a daily chart, things look different. And here we are just getting ready for a nice move to the upside. And here, what I'm seeing, it's telling me that we are going at least for $157. So right now might be a good moment to enter on a low leverage trade and take profit here at the $157 mark. For ICP, here we are around my entry level currently, and you also see here we have put in more of these reversal indications on the NDX algo indicator, and have also broken this downward sloping trend line. Now the moving averages are giving us resistance, but if you want to wait for a break above them, you can do that, but you will miss out on like 3-4%, which is not crazy. You know, you will still make 14-15% on the trade overall, but if you want to play it really safe, you wait for a break above the 50 moving average before entering this. Especially also here, I see a little bit exhaustion on the stochastic RSI, on the RSI, and on the MACD. So we could come down a little bit lower, maybe retesting here this downward sloping trend line as support again, and coming down 4% before we getting then a nice push to the upside. Then Telegram also really disappointing, guys. I'm so disappointed. We broke this downward sloping trend line today. Now we are below it again, and we're putting in here a sell signal in the next 2 minutes. So this is looking like shit, guys. Really like shit. But on the daily looks better. Here on the daily, I must say, by tomorrow we should get a breakout and potentially finally start to move here back to the upside. So I just need to be a little bit more patient here. But I can tell you my patience was starting to run out. Really, I was so close today to close my position, really close, but I kept it. RUNE, on the other hand, is a beast, you know. So look from our entry level that I had given here yesterday, we are up 20 cents, so 5% since yesterday, since we broke out here. RUNE is going for a golden cross here really soon. I expect this to happen by the end of the month, actually, here on the 12-hourly chart. It could be happening a little bit earlier, mid of the month with the rate cut decision. Other new potential entry, 12-hourly candle close above $4.17. Actually, 4-hourly candle close is enough. 4-hourly candle close above. Then I would enter this and trade this into $4.50. That will be still a 6% move to the upside from current prices, which is fine. But just set your stop loss slightly below here at $4.05 when you would enter this trade. So that will be still fine. The indicators are all pointing to continuation to the upside. A pity that I did not open this trade with with more money, you know. So I wish I would have put more money on this trade. So, but overall, we're going into the upside, and nice to see that we are profitable on this setup here. Then near also looks like that we're starting to move here pretty soon, kind of similar to Telegram currently. But on the daily, we are also looking extremely bullish. By tomorrow, we should also get a nice move here to the upside. So just wait for tomorrow, after tomorrow, if you want to still wait, if we come back here to the entry level of $4. But from there, we should be fine in the next 24 hours. Again, guys, if you want this amazing indicator suite, which has tons of indicators, and get them explained by the team themselves from MDX Algo, and you can book a free call with them, get 10% discount with the link in the description below. Only with that link, you're going to get 10% discount on them. And again, guys, the team is ready to explain you exactly how to use them. They're really easy to use. You see with the color gradient, it's really simple. You know, you wait for a buy tag, no matter where it shows up, and you sell when there comes a sell tag, you know. So, but at the same time, you have the colors helping you to understand if the market is cooling down or running hot. So it's really simple, and the other indicators are as simple as this one. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here once again. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money tomorrow.